And here we go. I would like to start with a short movie. I've taken out the sound so that I can explain to you a little bit of the background. Green City is the first Swiss carbon neutral township. It is outside Zurich, on the outskirts of Zurich. It's called Green City because on one side it sits in the green, as you can see here, and it wants to be green at heart as well. So this gentleman here, who is responsible for our community, Green City, it should be a community, not only buildings. You see the buildings here are already built. This is the first portion of this township. It has its own school. The children talk about the 2000 watt society. What is that? It means that every human being should have the same access to energy worldwide. And if it's 2000 watt and not more, it means it is sustainable and can be happy and enjoy with good conscience. This lady, for instance, is so happy that she doesn't need a car anymore because Green City has, yes, an access to the highway, but also buses and its own train that brings everybody downtown to Zurich if necessary. However, we would like people to be happy in the township. This lady, for instance, seems to be totally happy about the fact that we have a farmer's market every week where they can buy food from the person, and that's fresh and healthy and bio and whatever these people like to have. They don't have to travel far to get healthy food. It's all there. And if they don't find it, they have their own app on their iPhone or on their phone. They can, for instance, bring people together to do sports, fitness. They can bring people together to share tools. If they want to have a drill, they don't have to all buy a drill. And here is the old people's area. These people can sit in their bow window, look down onto the plaza, see the children play. And of course, on the plaza, around the plaza, there are shops. Like this shop owner here is very happy that he has his clientele. He can deliver food to the people up into their apartments. So it's making every apartment a serviced apartment without costing more. So these are a couple of the stores that we have in this little town or in this little community. And these two gentlemen have their meeting. Like this lady, for instance, is waiting for the daycare for her children. It's all given there so she can travel if she has to go and do her business else. And of course, we have business on the property too, because we want to have everything that everybody needs daily in walking distance. That is the idea of a city of short distances. And Green City in Zurich is just the first example that we came up with, and we would like to make it attractive to a broad variety of people. Not so wealthy people, more wealthy people, young people, older people, people of all colors and of all denominations, people who work in offices, but also people who are retired. All of them should fit into our town. And I hope the movie showed you a little bit. That's the first section. Second section is under construction now. So that was a short introduction. And now I would like to show you, oh, by the way, we did that with a general contractor, Losinger Marazzi, and we're very happy that Losinger Marazzi is building this town, and it's going to be the first one in Switzerland being carbon neutral. Now, but what does it mean to build a sustainable city? On a philosophical part, of course, it is the mix of social, economic, and environmental goals. All of them together make a project sustainable. But what does that mean physically? The physical image that we see for sustainable, smart cities is a grid city. This grid city consists of larger, medium, and smaller parts. And what we've done is just the smaller part. This, we call it smart township, the little green spots. Now, some of the elements that we find very important, we've put together in this hexagon. And I would like to walk you through these 6 points that to us seem important to make a township sustainable and smart. So if you allow me to, I will spend 7-8 minutes to show you some of the important elements that make such an approach successful. And by successful, I don't only mean financially successful. That's the beginning. If it's not financially successful, it won't be built. So it must be financially successful, but also it has to be successful for the people who live there and for the environment. So these 6 points, one of them is connectivity. The location that you see here on the map shows you that we are close to Zurich. We are surrounded by big companies. You can walk to those companies or take your bicycle or your e-bike to work. You don't even need a car. You don't even need a train. Another important element is density. We found that we need an FAR of 2. For those who aren't architects, that means that per square meter of land, you can build 2 square meters of usable area. That is the density we need to make a city walkable. The next element, of course, is every place is different. In this place, we had a brown field with old factory buildings, and as a nice gadget, we have a water mill, that's a hydropower that we can now use for electricity. And out of this brown field, we are constructing a modern avant-garde township with about 45% living, about 30% office, and the rest of it is shops and entertainment and other things that are necessary. So this mixed population that I mentioned before has found a home in several different places in the township, and it seems to work very well. Interestingly enough, the first ones that came were the people with not too much money. The last ones that came were the ones who bought the penthouse apartments for a lot of money, by doing so, paying some to the rents of the not so wealthy. So in all, we have a mixed use area, retail, school, senior residences, even a 3-star hotel is there. And as a community, it's a small town where you find everything you need daily. But you also need a surrounding. And the greenery, and that's why it's called Green City partially, is very, very important. Biodiversity and the short distance to your soccer field, the short distance to your racetrack, whatever you want, it's all there. And it works. So what we found is that actually there are 3 factors that really make a place green. Now I'm talking green at heart, green for energy. That's density, mobility, and construction. And these 3 we wanted to put into our township. And on this drawing here, you see elements that we have used: seasonal heat storage, groundwater use, heat pumps, an energy ring, which is a ring that transports energy around from building to building. One building may have a need for heat, another one may have a heat for cooling. All of that gets transported and, if not needed, put back into the ground, into our ground thermal storage. In this short movie, you see some of the solar areas. You see how we deal with mobility. We have a train track right next door. On the other side, we have the highway, of course, with the electricity that we're producing on the roof, and with the heat pumps, we can have these electro bikes and electro trottinettes. We can have free electricity for e-cars. It's all there for the people of our community. That's the energy concept, and as a result, we're carbon free in operation and carbon neutral at all. The smart part primarily comes with your smartphone. You have everything that you might want to have from your neighbors. You can discuss with them in discussion groups. You have a directory, what do you find where, you have an agenda, what happens when, all of these things, and you can ask for help or you can offer help. So that's part of the smart city. Now, one of the key findings that we had was that the stakeholders involved need to also involve the public sector. The city of Zurich was extremely helpful in supporting us this brownfield was not precisely what you would look for when you look for a plot of land to build a city. But with the help of the city of Zurich, we were able to speed up the process. Still takes a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of money, but only together with the public sector can a town become really viable. As a result of this, and because we knew that we were the first carbon neutral town in Switzerland, we said, let's make a certificate. Let's see that we can build something like that in other places. What are the elements we need? And the result is the 2000 watt smart township certificate. Having done so for Switzerland, we figured we would also want to do it for international places. We change things because every different needs. And now we are ready to say, right, we started our township green city. Next was that all of Zurich to become 2001. Next was all of Switzerland says, law, every new building has to be 2001, partly because of green city.